So in this lesson, we're going to take a look at generating a fairly simple shaft that I'm going to be using for my electric motor here. So to design my shaft, first of all, I'd want it to fit within this hub hole here. So I can just check down below and see the general shape of my hole if I've forgotten. And so it's giving me here a radius of 25 millimeters. So of course I'm going to use that when creating my shaft. So I can create my shaft really anywhere within this 3D workspace. I'm going to jump maybe to a right view. And I'll just design it slightly behind my motor here. So first I'll start by just drawing a horizontal line. It's going to represent the total length of my shaft here. So I'm going to say a total length of 300 millimeters. Okay. My shaft is going to be a fully revolved component, so I'm going to use the Revolve tools to generate this. Okay. So I have my total length to be 300 millimeters here. I can then start to generate the radius, which I know should be about 25, let's say 25, just to make sure that this will fit directly in my front cap hole for my electric motor. And let's say that 25 radius shaft, that portion of the shaft will be about 75 millimeters long, let's say. And so I can say 75 millimeters there. Then I have let's say I have another portion of my main shaft where I have kind of a larger diameter. So I'm just going to increase our diameter here by, let's say again, another 25 millimeters, such that the larger diameter portion will be of a radius of 50. Then the total length of my larger diameter will be, let's say, 150 millimeters. Yeah. And then just go back down to our smaller radius value. So again, down, let's say 25. And then my smaller end of radius 25 as a total length of, again, let's say 75 there. And finally close off the shaft. So here I have essentially the profile of my shaft there. And it's just going to revolve about its main axis. So of course I can go into my tools, revolve, select the face or the sketch that I'd like to revolve. So it's going to be this shaft sketch here. Tap next. And then select the line or an edge that I'd like to use as my axis of revolution. So that would be my main axis here. And of course it's going to revolve 360 degrees. So I'm happy with this. See my main design of my shaft here. So I can tap the done check. And I can take a look. I have a bit of a shaft here that I'll be eventually inserting into my motor. Maybe just some final touches. I'd like to change the color slightly, so I'll go to Tools, Color, and give it a little bit of a lighter color there. And once I'm happy with that, I can just tap the check. So here now I have a fairly simple shaft design, which I should be able to move into my electric motor, and it should fit quite nicely within the motor casing. So now that we've learned how to use section views, in this lesson we're going to take a look at how to insert the main shaft we just designed into our electric motor casing. But we're going to use section views to help us get the exact placement we're looking for. So I'm going to jump into a right view here. And I'm actually going to turn on my section view there. And why I'm doing this is now I can see exactly where I'd like my shaft to insert, and which portion of the smaller diameter will jump into the smaller diameter hole, and then the larger diameter edge should match up with my larger diameter edge within my casing there. So this is just one of many examples of where your section views can be useful for you. So let's take a look at inserting our shaft here. Again, we're probably going to want to use the transform tools. So I'm just going to go into transform, move, rotate, scale in this case. And first I want to select the shape or the group that I'd like to transform. So I'm just going to use my shaft here in this case. And then I'm going to want to kind of insert it into my shaft. And I'm going to want to insert it into my casing. So I might jump back into a right view here just to try to get as exact as possible. And I'm going to translate my shaft here. Okay, but notice now since I'm in the section view, I can kind of see what's going on internally. I can see exactly what distance might work best for me in this case. So what I'm going to throw in here is actually maybe 525 millimeters should push me all the way up to my front cap there. And then I'm happy with that. Just tap the done check to finish it off. So now I have my main shaft inserted into my casing. And again, I can always turn on a section view just to take a look again at the internals. And now we have an idea of what's going on internally within my electric motor design here.